The first body was found by a jogger. Early morning, just after sunrise, a man sat alone on a park bench overlooking the river. From a distance, he looked asleep, head tilted back, hands folded in his lap. The jogger almost passed by. Then he noticed the birds. They weren't afraid of him. They were landing on his shoulders. The man was dead. Police arrived expecting a medical emergency. Heart attack, stroke, something natural, but the autopsy revealed something strange. The victim had been missing for 11 days. And according to forensic evidence, he had died only hours earlier. Where had he been for the previous 10 days? Nobody knew. 3 months later, it happened again. A woman disappeared after leaving work. Searchers found nothing. Then, 8 days later, she appeared on a different bench in the same park. Dead, dressed in the same clothes she vanished in. Again, she had died only recently. Again, nobody could explain where she had been. The city became frightened. People stopped using the park after dark. News stations called it the bench killer. Detectives worked non-stop. The victims had no connection. No shared workplace. No shared friends. No shared routines. Only one thing linked them. Every victim had been seen at Riverside Park at least once in the weeks before disappearing. Not on the day they vanished. Before, sometimes days before, sometimes weeks. The connection seemed meaningless, until investigators reviewed park security footage. They weren't looking for victims. They were looking for patterns. That's when they noticed a man. Not suspicious at first, just someone feeding birds, reading books, walking slowly along the river. He appeared in dozens of recordings. Always alone, always near future victims, never interacting with them directly. At least not on camera. Detectives identified him as Leonard Price. 61, retired city groundskeeper, worked in Riverside Park for nearly 20 years. Everybody knew him. Children waved to him. Dog walkers chatted with him. He was part of the scenery. Police interviewed him. He was friendly, helpful, even offered theories about the disappearances. Nothing about him raised immediate alarms. Until another victim vanished. This time detectives followed Leonard around the clock. For 6 days they watched him. Nothing happened. Day 7 changed everything. A surveillance team observed Leonard sitting on a bench beside a woman in her 20s. The conversation lasted less than 2 minutes. Then they went separate ways. Perfectly normal, except the woman disappeared later that evening. Police moved immediately. They arrested Leonard before dawn. His home contained no hidden rooms, no underground chambers, no secret spaces, just a normal house. What investigators did find were hundreds of photographs. Not trophies, not posed images, just candid photographs. People sitting in the park, walking dogs, reading books, future victims among them. Leonard had spent years observing strangers, learning habits, recognizing routines. The trial revealed a horrifying detail. Many victims remembered speaking to a friendly older man in the park before they disappeared. A man who seemed harmless. A man who knew everyone's name. The most chilling testimony came from a survivor. A woman who narrowly escaped after accepting a ride from Leonard when her car broke down. She described him as calm, gentle, grandfatherly, until the moment he wasn't. When prosecutors asked Leonard why he always left victims on park benches, he stared out the courtroom window for several seconds. Then answered, "That's where I met them." The courtroom fell silent. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Today, Riverside Park is busy again. Families picnic there, children play there, people jog the same trails. Most visitors know nothing about the case. But longtime residents avoid one particular bench near the river. Not because they think it's cursed. Because they remember how many times police tape surrounded it. And because every now and then, someone reports seeing an elderly man sitting there at dawn, reading a book, watching people pass. By the time officers arrive, the bench is always empty.